How you handle something the world or society or in your mind think is small will determine who you really genuinely are, or is really the real you. Something small as in working a job that may not be your dream job, being in the unseen, okay, being in the background, a place where you're not where you want to be. In those moments, in those small way of living, who you really are, that's where it is. You're not who you say you are. You're not who you want people to think you are. That's who you are. How you handle those little small things in life, that's who you really are. The idea that we're gonna be our best version of ourselves once we get there. The idea that once I get big, I'm gonna be this. Once I have the thing that I want, I'm gonna be better. That is not it. What is it is the fact that how you show up in your day-to-day right now determines the genuine, your actual identity of who you really are as a person. In other words, if you're disciplined right now, when you don't have everything that you want, you're not living your dream life, you're not working your dream job, and you don't have this dream life that you have for yourself, if you're disciplined, if you're faithful, if you are genuinely grateful in these moments and you're living it out every day with purpose, then you'll be trusted with more. That's simple to understand, but a lot of the times it's a very hard concept for a lot of us to grasp and understand and really walk out. Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're talking about getting 1% better. Basically the real reason why you can't change or keep the changes that you're making sustainable and manageable, you give up before you even try. That is why we have hard time changing and keeping the changes that we're making in our lives. What does that even actually mean? This is such a big concept and idea that is talked about in the motivational space or self-help or personal development space. Everyone that you can think of, like that are successful, or people like Chris Williamson or Joe Rogan, or people that are just big and doing big things, and podcast in the podcasting space also, this is such a big thing that's talked about. So basically it's this idea that you invest small little things in every area of your life, whether that's fitness, health, spiritual, whatever the case may be. You're investing little by little every single day in order to ultimately have an outcome that you are proud of, an outcome that makes you feel like you're aligned with the life that you're trying to live. So that's kind of the big idea. And for me, getting 1% better, I knew about it, I understood it for the most part, but I didn't really know how to live it out necessarily, because for me, I've always been that person that wanted to get better. Like from the time I was like, the moment I discovered motivational videos, I remember when I was like 14 or 15 in my room listening to like these motivational videos of like, get your life together and do this, then, and the next, and it's just like people yelling at you to just do better in life. I remember watching those videos and just being so inspired and just being so motivated and just being extremely just wanting to do better for myself. And I think I grew up in a household also where this was a huge thing. Like everybody in my life growing up was such disciplined people. They did not play games. Like my family ate healthy. They took care of their skin, their body, their health, their mental health, everything in between. And I had such a great example to look up to, because I just saw like all of my sisters and brothers and my family in general, like everybody just took care of themselves in the house. When it comes to health, when it comes to taking care of their bodies, when it comes to working hard, very disciplined. They did not play games. I just grew up around that so much that I genuinely, it was second nature for me to kind of follow that footstep of like, okay, I have to do better every day. And I think for me, that's really what it meant, is I would need to really, really get better every day if I'm gonna have any kind of success in my life or be happy with myself. Like, if I'm gonna be happy, if I'm going to genuinely enjoy my life, I have to be better in every area of my life. And that's kind of like how I understood it and how it was in my mind from a very young age. I was always prone to do better. Like, I just was not playing no games. I was a 14 years old just trying to do better. But I don't think it was until later in my life where I felt like I sort of genuinely started to see what that meant, and I started to walk it out. It wasn't until like in my early 20s I started to really implement these things into my life. And what does it even mean to invest into yourself every single day, small little bits of things to make yourself the most aligned that you can be with the life that you're basically trying to live. And so with that being said, I knew about it, I loved the idea of it, but I didn't start living it out until like later in my life. And it wasn't until the past 4 to 5 years where I genuinely feel like I have been investing in my life to basically live the life that I actually enjoy and is proud of and is most aligned with where I'm trying to go in my life. And that can go to my spiritual life, that can go to my health, that can go to the way I look. It literally goes to every single thing else. And I think that's what getting 1% better means to me. And a lot of us, just like myself, we understand the concept of it and we kind of know what it means, but we don't really walk it out because again, it's just like an idea, and it's very glamorized and it's very hyped, and it's just in social media especially, like it's such a, like, I don't know, glorified idea that people talk about it, but they don't really actually live it out. And for me, by the grace of the Lord, literally, it wasn't until very recently, like genuinely, like again, like the past 2-3 years, that I really started to invest into myself. That means I'm not talking about one thing, I'm talking about like everything, you know? And it does make a difference. And you do see the improvements in your life of, oh, okay, if I spend a little amount of time early in the morning talking to God about my life and just having that connect moment with Him throughout the day, oh, it's gonna affect my whole entire day. Like, I'm gonna be in a better mood. I'm going to be more calmer in situations. I'm going to be more preserved, and I'm going to be more just a better individual to the people that are around me. Like, until you actually walk through it, you're not gonna know. And you have to really do it and see it for yourself. Same thing with going to the gym. Instantly, when I started going to the gym consistently without like getting interrupted in between or missing reps or missing on the gym, I notice how I genuinely feel better mentally. I feel more confidence with myself. I feel just much better. Like, I don't know, like in the moment I slip off of like that and I'm not going to the gym as much as I should, and then I fall back into how I felt before. And it's the small things that matter. Like, for example, some simple things, right? Going to sleep on time, getting 8 hours of sleep, or if you can't get 8 hours, I get about like 4 to 6 hours due to my occupation and how much stuff that I have to do and how much schoolwork I have and how much I have 2 jobs. So it's kind of tough for me right now as far as sleep goes, but I do try to implement at least 4 to 8 hours of sleep, and I do have at least one rest day where I don't do, like, I just rest that day. It doesn't always happen, but I try to implement that into my life because genuinely is, it's a ripple effect. Like if I don't do that, I might just not be the best person to be around. Let's just say that. So I mean, it's as simple as that, and I think it's so cool to be able to see it for yourself, because whether that's getting enough sleep or drinking enough water throughout the day, having a meal prep, or eating properly in general, or you are taking care of yourself, you're taking care of your hair, your body, your skin, everything in between, whether that's reading the Bible and spending time with God. Like these are small, like little things that we can do to just improve our whole entire health and everything in between. People are depressed and have anxiety and all these things because we're neglecting the very necessity of our humanity needs, of like sleep a certain amount of hours and see how you feel the next day, because your sleep affects everything else. Same thing with, I'm not sitting, like, by the way, when I'm talking to you guys from here, I'm not talking to you guys from an arrived place, because this is such an ongoing thing that I'm always gonna figure out for the rest of my life, and so are you. Is that, like, at the end of the day, this is an ongoing process, and it's something that we're gonna have to figure out as we go throughout life. And yes, you get better, and yes, things become easier, but you do need to understand that, like, first of all, like, the small necessity of life, like, if we're missing on these small little things, what do you think is going to happen? It's going to literally affect every other area of your life. However, I'm drinking enough water throughout the day, okay? I don't care how busy my day is. I don't care how much stuff I've got going on. And trust me, I have a lot going on because I have to do everything on my own. But as long as I'm drinking enough water, I'm following my meal prep, and I'm eating properly, I'm sleeping enough hours, I'm hitting the gym, I am taking care of myself the best way that I can, I'm pouring into myself, I am in community, I am making sure that I'm with the people that I love and people that love me back. These are all the things that come together to just help with my overall being. And if I'm not investing small little things every single day to do that, then it becomes an issue. And I think that's really what getting 1% better means to me, at least. I genuinely just went on a really long ramble, all to say that stop thinking that you have to do this grand huge thing in order to improve your life. You don't have to chase this huge thing to feel better about yourself and to feel like you've accomplished something. Stop expecting for your whole entire world to change overnight, for this dramatic change to occur in your life, and you're now like a brand new person. It doesn't work like that. It's going to take years of you doing something in order for you to actually be in a place that you want to be with. The whole point is that you're supposed to enjoy those times. You're supposed to ride it out. You're supposed to go through it, and that is the whole point. And that's why I think the first thing to getting 1% better every day is understanding the idea that you don't need to have this huge miracle, like dramatic overnight success or overnight change or overnight just like something happens and now you're like, you have it doesn't work like that. I think you have to understand that like it's the small little things that you do every single day that you're staying consistent in that helps you improve in life. If you're going to the gym, start with 20 minutes, then 30 minutes, then 40 minutes, then start lifting, then start doing other things, then get a trainer. Like whatever the case may be, you have to start somewhere very small. Like I'm very honest with myself, and I'm very like brutally honest actually sometimes whenever I fall off. Like I just did a video for you guys. It's gonna be a vlog. It's coming out at some point in May. It's basically about how I get back on track of like how I get my life together whenever it feels like it's falling apart, or like when it feels like life has been so overwhelming and I've fallen back on my routine. And in the video, like you can see that like I didn't do anything major. Like I just started to kind of find my way back to how I used to do things and stuff like that. And I think that's my whole point, is that I'm very brutally honest when it comes to falling off and coming back to routine and getting back to where I want to be, because I already know if I'm gonna say I'm gonna do this big thing and I'm gonna like do this, like it's just not gonna work. It's not gonna work. I'm gonna already give up before even starting. So that's why I think it's very important to be brutally honest with yourself and being like, okay, this is where I'm at. I cannot handle a 40-minute workout right now. My schedule is not going to allow it. My strength is not going to allow it. It's not going to happen. So I have to be brutally honest and see how much time I can actually go to the gym and spend at the gym. Being realistic with where I am in my health, being realistic with my time, everything in between. Because if I just say I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to hit the gym hard, like, and then we're acting all crazy and nothing gets done, because we already, before we even start, like it's already overwhelming for us to even get anything done. And at least in my personal experience, that's how it's been, is like I will say I want to do something, and then before I even start doing it, I get overwhelmed because of this expectation that I have in my mind of like, this grand thing is gonna happen and it's gonna change like, that's how I didn't get a lot of things done in the past, okay? That is how you get held back. That is how you don't get anything done. That's why in your mind, you need to understand you don't need to chase this big thing. You don't need to just change your life overnight. Understand it's gonna take a long time. Don't even think about the long time that it's going to take. Think about where you are right now and how you're going to take the steps to be consistent in order to get any kind of improvement you can possibly get to the certain goal that you might have. Or because once you hit that goal, you're going to be on to the next goal anyway. The way I like to think about it is it's about direction, setting your life in a certain direction and moving it that way, instead of being perfect, and instead of saying things like, I'm going to change my whole entire life in one day. That's not how it works. Same thing with like cleaning my apartment. I used to be this person who used to say, I'm gonna clean my whole entire apartment today. Today is the day I clean everything. Do you know what happens when I think like that? Nothing literally gets done. So I have to break it down. I have to say, Monday, I'm gonna do the kitchen. Tuesday, I'm gonna do the bedroom. Wednesday, I'm going to get the bathroom done. If I don't set it out like that and I set myself up for success, it's probably never gonna get done. And in the same way, we have to stop thinking our whole entire life needs to get fixed right now. The thought of it gets overwhelming. We have so much going on in life that who has time to even like to be able to do that? Like nobody. So you have to think like, okay, I cannot put this crazy amount of pressure on myself that overwhelms me to the point I can't even get started. So I think that's a really good way to think about it, is instead of thinking about perfectionism or getting everything done in one day, think of it like setting your life in a specific direction and kind of wheeling it that way and heading in that direction, if that makes sense. That should help you a lot, because it helped me quite a lot. And I promise you, from somebody who like lets a thought overwhelm her that much to the point like nothing got done, I'm telling you, small little wins in every single day. And I'm talking about a 20-minute workout. I'm talking about spending at least even 10 minutes with the Lord. I'm talking about spending at least even 15 minutes on your personal self-care, whatever the case may be. These small little investments, even as hard as they feel as you do them, they genuinely will pay off, and you will have a completely different life in the next few, whatever the case may be. Because don't think about it in a way it's just gonna happen overnight, but rather, okay, these small little things that I'm doing, they're going to do something. And a lot of the times, I'm gonna get to my second point, a lot of the times the reason why before we even begin something, or before we even do anything, we already give up before we even start, because of how overwhelming the thought of this goal that we have and the thought of like this thing that we are trying to do. Like I was saying, God is going to trust you with more and kind of even improve your life to the best that it can be once he knows that he can trust you with the small little things that you have. That could be a job that you have, that could be the money that you have right now, that could be how you even look, that could be the time that you're spending with him. He's going to multiply that over once he knows how you are handling what you already have in your hands right now. And that's why I'm big on like small little wins, small improvements, small little things that you're doing every day is going to compound later, because God trusts us once we are loyal and once we are faithful with the things that we already have in our hands. The idea of saying things like, once I have the better job, I'm gonna be this better person. Once I have this thing. No. How are you right now with things that you do have? How are you right now with the job that you already have? How are you right now with the money that you already have in your hand? How are you? Because that is a proof of who you really are, not who you are going to be like 10 years down the line once you actually have the things that you want. The reason why we don't even get the things that we want to get done before we even get them done is because we have this big thing that we think is going to happen, and then we think once we get there everything is going to be sunshine and rainbows, when in reality you are being tested right here right now. Who are you right now with the life that you have? The story of Job is such a perfect example of that, because Job, like, well, not necessarily for this specific topic, but I think there's something to be taken from that story, because the idea that Job, regardless of his circumstances, regardless of where he was in life, whether he had everything in his hand and he had nothing, this man was the same individual. Okay, he stewarded what God gave him. He still was faithful to God. It's not like, of course he had moments where he was very frustrated at God, but he still made that work for him in the end, because again, it goes back to his loyalty to God, and because of his faithfulness. That is what got him everything tenfold when God rewarded him for his faithfulness later, right? So I think that's kind of how we have to look at it, is God has been showing me that, like, okay, this is where you are right now. This is I'm 25. I am nowhere near where I want to be. Okay, I'm being with you guys like 20 million % like transparent. Like, this is like, if I'm being completely honest with you, I'd rather be traveling the world right now, modeling with brands that I know I want to be, whatever. I want to be signed to an agency. I would love to be in movies right now. I would love to be acting. I would love it. I would love it if I was like publishing books everywhere. I would love to be, I would love to be like premiering a movie right now. Yeah, totally. I would love for me to be walking for Vogue right now. I would love for, like, this is where I thought I would be by 25. No, I would love to be married with the love of my life, who is a man of God, who loves me deeply, and I love him right back. And we have each other like this to the ends of the earth, okay? And then I write for him, he writes for me, just like that. And then we have our beautiful kids. Beautiful kids. I'm manifesting it into maybe the video, guys. But this is where I want to be right now. Yeah, another thing I would love is for my podcast to be popping, like the Becoming podcast everywhere, okay? I'm getting guests on. I have people that I love that I'm interviewing. I'm living my best life in community with the people that I love. I'm doing life with you guys, and I'm helping so many of you guys. I'm speaking all over the world. Like, that's not the reality. That's not the reality of my life. And there's nothing wrong with that, because guess what? I'm still doing what I want to do. Oh yeah, I'm manifesting it into, like, whatever. I'm saying it out loud. I know some people don't like to say what they want to do because they think it's like a weird thing that people are gonna, your destiny cannot be snatched from you. The Lord's got you. Who says that? People are like, oh, if I say what I actually want to do in this life, someone is going to snatch it out of my hand and they're going to take it away and they're never going to give it to me. Or they say things like, I don't want to say something until it happens. I, to an extent, used to believe in that, but I'm starting to be convinced otherwise, okay? I think that your destiny cannot be taken away from you. I think at the end of the day, whether you say it out loud to somebody or not, it's gonna happen. That's just what I believe. Could my mind change about that? Maybe. I just think that's just the reality of the situation, and then what's meant for me is gonna happen regardless. I say all that to say, to make the point that, like, I am nowhere near where I want to be. I'm still in school. I'm about to graduate. Thank the Lord for that. But I'm still in school. Still hasn't graduated. I'm about to graduate. Thank God. I'm working jobs that I'm grateful for because they bring my income in. But this is not my passion. This is not nowhere near what I want to be doing for the rest of my life. Like, respectful. I'm grateful for it. And this is my reality, I will forever do what I have to do and still show up faithful to God, still show up being grateful for my job, still give my job 100. On my job, I give my job 120 million% every day, every single day that I go in. I don't care, because this is my reality. This is how. And of course, do I have time where I mess up? And do I have time where I'm learning things? Of course, because this is the season that I'm in. This is the life that I'm living. So of course, there are things that come up, but I handle those the best of my ability, and I still try to be grateful. And I still show up every single day and give it everything that I have. Because at the end of the day, this is where I am. I cannot change my reality in a day. I can invest into the reality that I want to have, and I can pray about it, and I can take actions to get there. But until I get there, that's where I'm at. So we said a lot, but I really want to hit on why this is so hard for us, and why a lot of us resist. Because we want to get better, and we do want better things for ourselves. But why do we actually resist it once it gets to the nitty-gritty of like actually taking the action? I think it's genuinely because like we seek comfort and we don't want change, and we want to be comfortable. So for example, somebody could want a certain type of body, but because in our mind automatically, the moment we say we want a certain type of body, like in our flesh, I want to say our flesh because that's what the Bible says, our flesh is literally working against us when that happens. So we want that body, but like the moment we say that out loud, it's like hell is loose, literally, because we're like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to wake up and go work out, I'm gonna have to do this, that, and the next, I'm gonna have to start seeing how I eat. We already get extremely overwhelmed before the process hasn't even begun, before we even start working towards getting that certain type of body that we want, because our mind already is fighting us and our flesh is fighting us. Because what happened there is the fact that it's a threat. It's a threat to our comfort. It's a threat to this comfortable, just extremely easy life that we already have within our minds and whatever, like how we're living. It's a threat to our comfort. It's a threat to how we already are living, which is not the best way. Because if right now you don't like the body that you have, which, hey, your body's a temple, like, of course, like, make sure that you love yourself, everything in between, but it's okay to want a certain type of body or like to work towards something. The problem is, if you don't like where you are right now, it's probably because you're doing things that you shouldn't be doing, and like you should change how your approach to whatever it is that you're doing to get to where you want to go to. I mean, if you don't want to do anything about it, that's your business, that's your life. That's your business, okay? I'm not here to confront you about that. But for those of us who, obviously, if you clicked on this video, clearly you want to get better in your life and you want the best outcomes in this life for everything that you are doing here. The reason why it's so hard for us, it's because our brain wants comfort, not growth. I think we also like just want like instant results. Like if tomorrow I don't have the body that I want, what's the point? There's no point in doing it. I don't want to do it. Like, why am I even doing that? Like, I don't see the point. It's like one thing I genuinely struggled when I was in my teenage years is, like I told you guys, like I've always wanted to get better. And I think I've always been that person that just really wanted the best. I just wanted to be the best that I can be. Whether I was a very competitive kid. I was very stubborn, and I think I still am probably, but I just wanted to be better. Whether that's like, if we're playing a game, I just was really competitive and I was very stubborn and I just wanted to be good at it, you know? I never really liked not being good at something. And I think it was the same thing at work. Like at my job, I've worked every department you can think of because I'm actually really curious. Like, even though this is not where I see myself for the rest of my life, I'm doing everything and I work in every area because I want to know how the business runs. Like, I want to know how everything works, how does everything come together. And the idea of not knowing just makes me really feel, I don't know, not good. So that's why, like, I've done everything, because I'm now able to see like how this business actually runs. Even with that, like, I didn't have to do that. I could just pick one role and stick to it, and I don't have to do it. And I also don't like being stuck in one place and not growing. I also don't like the idea of just doing one thing for the rest of my life. I rather just be put in places where I feel uncomfortable and I'm growing and I'm doing things and I'm challenging myself, and I want to continuously be growing. So like I said, I've always been that person, but one thing that I've always struggled with is the idea of what the heck is the point? Like, what's the point? Okay, I'm working out. What's the point? Yes, I'm gonna have a nice body, whatever. What's the point? I genuinely felt like this, guys. When I was in my teen years, I struggled with this so much. I would go to school and I'm like, what's the point of school? Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't, like, why? Like, we're not gonna even use this in the future. I don't get it. And I would say things like, for example, what's another thing that I really didn't understand the point of? Yeah, like, working. Working. What's the point of working? I don't know. Like, it's not even what I want to do. Like, what's the point? But you see, that's the whole thing, is that the whole point is that in life, we're supposed to go through all of these things in order to be, our characters to get developed, for us to be better, for us to just come out on the other side and just, it's kind of funny because it's like, what's the opposite of that, right? The opposite of that is that we could just continue to be not doing what, like, we can just do whatever we want and end up, I don't know, like, probably not where we want to be. And to me, that's why I keep doing it, and that's why I keep going, and that's what motivates me, because the feeling I have whenever I'm not doing the things that I want to be doing and I'm not working towards the thing that I want to be working towards, that feeling, I don't want to feel that. I hate that feeling. Like, I literally would rather die than feel that. So I think that's why, like, I personally like to keep going and like keep working towards the things that I'm working towards, because I know how it feels to be where I don't want to be. So I think I'm always like, and I think we talked about this in my last video, but I'm getting better at being present and being appreciative and not focusing too much on the future. And I'm always going to want to improve, and I'm always going to be seeing the next thing, and I always want to be like, you know, of course, getting better at things. But at the same time, I think it's totally valid to also challenge yourself and being like, okay, this is not, I don't always have to be stuck like this, you know? And for me, and it's also important to see when you're not where you want to be, it's important to see that, because some people are blind to that. Some people can't even see it. And so because I'm so self-aware, and because I feel like the Lord, the Holy Spirit within me just wakes me up and kind of bring that to the light a lot. The way I want you guys to think about it is like, okay, if a star explodes, like, I don't know, so many years, like in light years, right, away from us, it could explode today and we won't see it until like so many years after, because in science it's proven that, like, because of the distance and how long it takes for us to see it here on Earth, that distance is so far for us to be able to see it, that the star could explode today, but we won't be able to see it until many years later. And I think that's an interesting concept. I'm not a big science geek or anything like that, but I think I saw this somewhere, I don't know where I saw it, but I think that's an interesting concept, because it kind of applies to what we're talking about today, getting 1% better. Just because the star exploded and it's so far from us and we won't see it until later, it doesn't mean that the star didn't explode. Does that make sense? It already happened, but for us to receive it and for us to see the light and for it to be here and for us to be able to see it here on Earth, it takes that long. But it already happened. So in a sense, like, even the reality that we live in is already happened, you know. And like, how do I explain it? Like, our past, every action that we've ever taken has led up to this point now, and this is the life that we're living now. And everything that you've ever done, every decision you've ever made has led you to the point of the life that you're living right now. And so that's such an interesting concept to understand, because like, it applies literally to what we're talking about today, because it's like, oh, okay, all these decisions, all these things has compounded and has made the result of like my reality today. So therefore, doesn't it mean that if I take the steps every single day, and I actually make sure that I'm investing every day to the future reality that I want to have, I could have the reality. So that is a proof technically for us to make sure that we're investing into the life that we want to live, and we're doing the right things and things that we're supposed to do. And I guess that leads me to my last point, that like everything in life compounds. So it's your choice. Whether it's good or bad, everything that we're doing in our day-to-day is going to compound to the reality that we're living in today. And so it's up to you. You can either let it compound to something very horrible, and you don't like the life you're living, and you're not in the shape that you want to be, you're nowhere where you want to be, you're not living out your dream, you're not doing the things that you want to be doing, you're not improving yourself mentally, spiritually, everything in between. Or you can compound it to be something good, which is you work out, you get the body that you want, you're healthy, you have relationships, you have community, you're investing into your relationship with God, and you have a very good relationship with God, and you're working towards your purpose, and you're working towards the things that you actually want to do in life. And that can compound to the life that you want to live and the reality that you live. Because as I said with the star example, life is already happening. You know, it's like everything we've ever done in the past has compounded to the reality we're living now. So therefore, we can either let it compound to bad things, or we can let it compound to good things. And that is our decision right here, right now. And we talked about the present in my other video. I'm telling you guys, this is the moment that we have to capitalize on. This is the moment. How we take the actions that we're taking today is going to ultimately decide where we end up in the future. So it's up to us on how we want to write that out. In other words, if it helps you to understand this better, you're already getting 1% better or bad every single day, whether you realize it or not. And I say that because small little bad habits that you're doing creates chaos. Sorry, my laptop is literally my light for the video. So I keep going like this because that's the only way. But like chaos, and that chaos becomes not the life that you want, like we discussed. Or small little disciplines that you have in your day-to-day, waking up early, talking to God, making sure that you're working towards your purpose and your dream and the life that you want to live, whether you're seeing improvement or not, whether you're seeing the outcome right now or not. It does not matter. Just because the star exploded so far away from us and we don't get to see it until very much later, it doesn't mean the star didn't explode. Do you understand the concept that I'm trying to get you guys to see? It's like, hello, like it's happening. It's already happened. Those little moments of discipline is going to create your freedom for later. Whether you want to believe that or not, it's the truth and the reality of like, if you are being consistent, if you are being disciplined, if I didn't start making videos, okay, 2 years ago of this format, and if I didn't start posting my shorts, I don't think I would be at 1,000 something subscribers, which by the way, thank you guys so much. I never even thanked you guys for that. I just realized that. But I don't think I would be at that, because if I didn't post the shorts, then how could I have created this community that we have created together? And it's just like, had I not come up with that idea 2 years ago and started posting it, and last year really be consistent with it, and it now leading up to 1,000 something subscribers, it's like I was at 500 subscribers before I started doing that. So it's like, is it a lot? No, not that much, not necessarily, but it's something. It's something, and our videos are getting views. Like, you guys know that I don't really care about that stuff. I'm just trying to make the point that the little tiny daily decisions that we're making over time that will ultimately gonna allow us to understand that it has to be sustainable. You can't just overnight just do the thing that we talked about, and it has to build identity. You then start to believe that, okay, I'm somebody who starts showing up. I'm somebody who's gonna say what they like. When I say I'm gonna go work out at 4 a.m. in the morning, and I go do it, you guys, it's insane what it does in my brain, because I said what I was gonna do and I did it, and it does something in my brain immediately. It's actually insane, and I'm not saying that for any other reason other than the fact that like this is how our minds work, and the sooner we get a grasp on it, the better it is for our lives. I don't think that you become successful in one moment. Obviously, that's real. You don't also become stuck in one moment. It's whatever you've been doing that has built up to the point that you are today. And I think we just have to understand the concept that God is not going to promote our potential. He promotes our faithfulness and who we are becoming and the person that we are turning into in these situations, in these hardships, in these moments of life, of what are the decisions that we're making every single day that ultimately creates the future that God has for our lives. It has to align with His will for our life. It has to align with the person that we're saying that we're becoming. We can't just talk about it and not align it with our actions. Those two things they're not compatible. They're not. And I think it's about just like not quitting on yourself, you know, no matter what. And that's what I've noticed with myself in my life, is that no matter what, you won't see me quit. I will never quit. I will never quit. I will keep going. No matter how many times life knocks me down, no matter how many times like I'm battling whatever I'm battling with, like you will not see me quit. I will keep going. I'll keep getting better. My mindset is like, okay, how can I be better than I was yesterday? How can I show up better than I was yesterday? How can I treat people better than I treated people yesterday? How can I invest into my life better than I invested yesterday? And in the same way, if you apply these things, you genuinely can get better every single day, and that's the goal. And the idea that 1%, whatever, like sometimes you're not getting better at all. Some days nothing happens, you know, you're just not, life has knocked you down and you're just tired and you can't keep going and it's exhausting. But guess what makes it different, and what makes it that what kind of makes you different than others, and what's the point of getting 1% better every day, is even in that moment you have hope in the back of your head that like, oh, I'm gonna get up from this, and I'm going to keep going, and I'm not gonna give up. This is not what's gonna make me quit. I'm gonna keep going. And that mindset right there is the whole idea of getting 1% better every day of your life. Comment down below, let me know what you guys thought of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will probably see you guys on my next one.